Zaxby's just out-Phillied the Philly again. The Zaxby's Chicken Philly is back with garlic aioli, sauteed peppers and onions, decadent melty cheese, and your choice of Zaxby's signature crispy chicken fingers or delicious grilled chicken. But it's only back for a limited time, so enjoy it while you can. No pressure. It's just the greatest sandwich of all time on a ticking clock. Order the Chicken Philly today. Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's.
Welcome to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman, founder and partner of Heischman Financial Services, serving the Columbus area. Jon is an independent financial advisor. That means he's unbiased and he works in your best interest. Jon specializes in safe money retirement planning, working together with you to achieve your ideal retirement. And now it's the Safe Money and Retirement Show. Here's Jon Heischman.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money and Retirement. I'm your host, Jon Heischman from Heischman Financial Services. I'm going to talk about mistakes in retirement. Have you ever looked back or thought, gee, I would have done a lot of things different if I could go back and do it over again? Pretty much every retiree thinks about past mistakes. Would they invest their money more conservative or be more aggressive? Save just a little bit more and start planning early. Over the years, I've spent countless hours working with retirees and pre-retirees. I've seen just about everything, every situation. People have wonderful retirements, secure, and they have done everything right. I have seen many people who have not so wonderful retirements and have done a lot of things wrong. Now, don't misunderstand me. When I say wrong, typically wrong means they weren't educated in finances, in planning. They didn't work with a planner and just didn't know the things that you need to do to have a secure retirement. My point is, it is very easy to make mistakes because you're unaware of many aspects that go into retirement planning. And I think it's critical that every retiree work with a planner that can point out some ideas, some different things to do that will really make a difference in your future. Start a plan as early as possible and have that plan reviewed once a year. And one of the biggest problems is, do you know if your retirement money will really last? And is it going to provide you the lifestyle that you want, that you hoped for, and have been working towards all these years? My job, which I love, helping people, is to point out problems, potential problems, things that a client isn't doing that they should be doing, and how to achieve results. And I really hope everybody that is listening to me is working with a planner that is doing just what I'm saying. But let me tell you, I know that they're not. And that's because of all the people I see in a given month, a year, there are so many that are not working with a planner. They haven't gotten advice and they're trying to do it on their own. Now, there's a lot of people that can do it on their own, but I guarantee you they have educated themselves, they have listened to shows, they have read and kind of put it together on their own. But that's very few. So those of you that could be in a situation where you're just not sure, or you want to know some ideas, or am I on the right track? What am I missing? That's who I enjoy meeting with, having a discussion, and finding out their concerns or what they're worried about. And if you're in that situation, I'd like for you to give me a call. We can either schedule a phone conversation or an in-person visit in my conference room or at your home, whatever you're most comfortable with. Here's the number, 888-426-0177. That's 888-426-0177. Be sure to visit my website, HeischmanFS.com. That is spelled HeischmanFS.com. I like to make it fun, relaxed atmosphere with no pressure whatsoever, just to have a conversation. I may be able to help, I may not. And of course, there is no obligation and there is no cost. Okay, we have to keep in mind that there's not a lot of room for mistakes when it comes to retirement. It's kind of like building a house. The contractor doesn't have more than an inch or two room for error. If they're off by more than that, the house may not stand up and errors are going to follow. As big as a house is, there exists only the tiniest margin to be off from the plans. And we can relate that same situation to a retirement plan. Your retirement is not any different than a house. We have to have a foundation. It has to have walls that won't come crashing down around you because of increased taxes, inflation, and many other risks in retirement. And it's a plan that needs to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, year in, year out. In other words, your retirement cannot be built when it's not to scale and you haven't followed the plan. I mentioned the importance of working with a planner, one that you can trust and you're comfortable with, and most of all, that you can develop a relationship where you know it's going to be a private, confidential relationship, because too many retirement mistakes are from listening to the wrong people. It never ceases to amaze me how many people take advice on their retirement plan from those who are totally unqualified and give this critical advice. I've seen some problems, messes, poor planning over the years, and I'll ask, how did you get to this point? Or, where did you get this information? And the responses all over the board. My brother-in-law, my father-in-law, a coworker, or my neighbor. Here's what they did, and they advised me to do the same. In retirement planning, everybody is different. Risk tolerance is different. Amounts of retirement savings is different. Nobody fits one mold, and any advice that you get That person giving you advice has to know your situation in and out, all of your accounts, risk tolerance, goals, and objectives. What are your dreams? What do you want to accomplish? And I guarantee it's going to be different than your neighbor, your brother-in-law, or a coworker, because typically you're not going to give them your total net worth or your cash flow situation, but you will give it to your advisor or your planner. They have to know in order to put together the right plan and to keep you on track, they've got to know your situation and the numbers. Another mistake that I see happen, retirees make the wrong pension option. The pension option that you need to select because of your situation pretty much guarantee it's going to be different than your neighbors. Another big one as far as wrong advice is when to take your Social Security retirement benefit. If you're talking to someone who took theirs at age 62, you're probably going to hear them say, oh, take it at age 62, start getting your money back. But the reason there are options as to when you take your Social Security retirement benefit will be because of other income sources that you have, your health status, just to name a few, and others that will make the difference in your retirement as to when you take your Social Security benefits. One of the most important things that we look at, none of us can go back and correct mistakes that we made in the past. That's why you must work with a planner. And if you're not sure about the advice that was given to you, get a second opinion, interview several other advisors, and see if you get the same advice or if you get different advice. Then you'll be able to pick one that you have confidence in, that you can develop a relationship with, and most importantly, that you can trust. Another mistake that I see is the client didn't understand their risk tolerance. And I think that risk tolerance has to match, in some way, the amount of money that's available to provide retirement income. And there is so many other aspects, and time does not allow me to go into those as I would normally do when I meet with a client. Couple things to keep in mind. I mentioned risk. Risk means more than just losing your principal, paying for the wrong types of insurance, being in retirement, and not continuing to plan and monitor the plan, and not doing consistent, careful, ongoing planning are all mistakes. So we need to eliminate the mistakes as much as possible. And many times we can't, but we can correct part of it, get you on the right track to where no more mistakes will happen. Let's have a conversation. I guarantee you it will be well worth your time. I operate on a very casual, professional, non-selling approach because I don't have to. I've been doing this a long, long time, and it's kind of like the old saying, I want your business, but I don't need your business. I just want to help, and who knows, if you become a client, great. If not, you're going to learn something. 888-426-0177. That's the number to reach me, 888-426-0177. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoy what I do, because I want everyone to have a safe and secure retirement. Thanks for your time. This is Jon Heischman bringing you Safe Money and Retirement.
Thanks for listening to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. To get your retirement planning on the safe track, reach out to Jon at Heischman Financial Services. Call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Or visit their website at HeischmanFS.com. Listen in again next week at the same time for the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman.